Maricopa County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on September 25th, 2025. It's 9:30 in the morning. We'll have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Dan Zeisen, Commissioner Finter,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Lawrence, Commissioner Layton, Commissioner Layton, Vice Chair Millhaven,
Here.
Commissioner Rock-Wallach,
Here.
Commissioner Toma,
Here.
Commissioner Whitney,
I'm here.
Chairman Lindblom.
Here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. This meeting has been noticed in accordance with Open Meeting Law ARS 38-431. Agendas are available within 24 hours of each meeting in the Maricopa County Planning and Development Office and are also available on the Planning and Development website 1 week prior to hearing at www.maricopa.gov/planning. The staff reports prepared for each agenda item shall become a part of the permanent record of each case. With respect to hearing process, cases will be considered in the order they appear on the agenda unless otherwise agreed to by the commission. For each case, the applicant will be given a set time amount to present. Anyone wishing to speak on a particular case shall fill out a speaker's card for in-person attendance or raise your hand within GoToWebinar. The amount of time allowed for speaking shall be at the discretion of the commission chair. Staff will provide the chairman with the names of persons who are registered and noted desire to comment, and those registered participants who have raised their hand. The chairman will call on each named participant one at a time. The chairman will conduct the hybrid in-person and virtual public hearing according to the bylaws and according to the rules established by the chairman regarding public comment. Votes will be done by roll call vote only. The chairman will verbally identify the specific members responsible for all motions and seconds. First item was, we have no minutes, so we will move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, Madam Acting Chair and Commissioners and Mr. Chair. We have one item that remains on consent, and that is Z240001, known as Gravy Holdings in District 3. It's a zone change to C3 CUPD for a 2.6 acre site at the northeast corner of Black Canyon Highway and New River Road. This is the Roadrunner Saloon, a regional landmark. There's no known opposition. The recommendation is for approval, subject to conditions A through M in paragraph 15, but with a handout today noting deletion of condition G.8 in regard to requiring erosion setbacks. That's not necessary, as the existing river levee is an engineered structure. Happy to try and answer any questions you may have.
All right, are there any questions for staff? Hearing none, do we have any public comment? None that I'm aware of on our consent items. All right, we'll open it up to discussion for the commission or entertain a motion.
Chairman Lindblom, I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented by staff.
All right,
Second.
all right. We have a first by Commissioner Hernandez and second by Commissioner
It's going to be a mouthful. Rock-Wallach.
Rock-Wallach, which I'm just meeting for the first time. Nice to have you here today. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton, are you on the line? Vice Chair Millhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitney,
Yes.
Commissioner Rock-Wallach,
Yes.
Chairman Lindblom.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval of the consent agenda by a vote of 7-0.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to, and thank you for those that came. You're welcome to leave on those cases if you'd like. We'll move on to regular agenda. Case number SU 250019. We'll have that presented by staff. Is that correct? Am I looking at the wrong? Oh, Hicken got moved. Sorry, thank you. All right, we will move to case number Z240024. Hicken Air.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the Commission. Z240024 is a zone change request from rural 43 to C2 CUPD with a plan of development on an approximate 1 acre parcel generally located at the northeast corner of Willis Road and 144th Street in the town of Gilbert area. The zone change request is for the development of an air conditioning service company office and dispatch facility, which would utilize the existing residence for office use and add a 6,000 square foot shop to accommodate the associated business activity. The applicant is requesting a CUPD overlay to amend the development standards for setbacks, paving, and to limit the site for specific permitted uses that are felt to be more in line with the existing commercial uses of the area. While staff has received no public comment or interest from surrounding neighbors, the town of Gilbert recently provided written opposition to the proposal, stating that the use does not conform with the town's general plan use designations for the area. While offices are permitted, the town takes objection to the expanded commercial use to allow the indoor workshop. Staff recommends approval of Z240024 subject to conditions A through G. At this time, I would be happy to answer any questions that the commission may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for staff at this time? Are you able to speak, Commissioner Layton?
Yes,
Sometimes
I
we-
am.
All right, you're here. Did you, do we want to
Ask her to.
ask her how she voted on the consent agenda? Did you vote?
I
Were you
voted yes.
listening and
Yeah.
listen? Okay, you were a yes.
I
All
was.
right, so
Mhm.
we'll make that change to the record. Thank you. All right, glad to have you now.
Thank you for having me.
You can impart of all your wisdom to us now. So, all right. Any
Okay, that's
questions?
enough.
All right. Any questions currently for staff on the Hicken Air case? Hearing none, do we have the applicant here that wish to speak or representative?
Morning,
Good morning.
Jessica Sarkisian with Upfront Planning. How are you this morning? A nice short agenda. See if this works. Okay, so this is the Hicken Air rezone. It is hopefully a pretty straightforward case. Hicken Air is an air conditioning and heating and all kinds of stuff project. So it's a family-owned and operated HVAC repair, installation, and maintenance company for residential and commercial uses in Gilbert, Arizona, serving between Tucson and Black Canyon City since 2009. It is an established company with positive results. You can see, as he mentioned, you can kind of see it in the blue outline. That is the site. You have the 202 Santan right there, as well as Lindsay Road going north to south, just to the west, and there is an interchange for that. The address is actually 17545 South 144th Street. There were previous code violations on this case, unpermitted buildings, junk, and neighbor complaints. Neighbors were really upset. You can see this is the previous site. This is not the current owner. Just to see that the current owner has taken over the site and cleaned it up. And you can see a lot of the permit violations because all those buildings were removed. It's been cleaned up. New owner and violations have been closed since. Just trying to show good neighbor stuff. And so the request is to rezone the rural 43 residential to intermediate commercial C2 CUPD to transform it into a commercial office HVAC space. The adjacent properties are zoned RU43 in the county and business park within the town of Gilbert as it transitions. And I'd like to show you too, just that this whole area of 144th Street is kind of transitioning into more of an office and warehouse type uses. The site was previously used, as I said, as a single family home and is directly adjacent to the business park zoning category in Gilbert. And they plan to use it for a low intense commercial use. So here's the current county zoning for the area. You can see some of this area has already, there's some C2 going on. And then you see, and I'll talk about the town of Gilbert, just because they did have that letter. So the town of Gilbert zoning map does have it as GO in the land use category. And then it does have it as business park as their zoning adjacent. So the adjacent parcels surrounding that are incorporated are designated as BP. So the Business Park District permits integrated campus-style office development serving high technology research and development, which is what they would most likely prefer for this entire area. As you know, they've had lots of office complexes going into the west. But it also allows office, service, and light industrial uses, which is what you're seeing going on in this area. And the general office district does allow medium and large scale office as well as service uses, which is what this is providing. So I just wanted to give an example of these are the current uses that are allowed in the Gilbert General Zoning Code for the business park. The uses we are requesting are in these approved categories. So my thoughts is most likely that they're opposing it because it's not the use they would request within this category. They would approve something, they would require something higher intensity for office, general office. But they do allow this use and these other uses that we're limiting it to in their categories. So in here you can see the uses that are going in along 144th Street. You have an RV and storage on that northern piece right there. Pretty intense, lots of different stuff going on in front as well. You have to the south, you have more of a fabrication going on. That these are all uses that are in the town and have been approved, as well as the one on the very south, which is directly adjacent to the site. That is a BP zone, which was approved in the town of Gilbert, and it is for playground equipment manufacturing and servicing. So the use that we're looking for to do is very similar to what's gone in and the town has actually approved. And then, so just to see also along Willis, you can see that you do have the south of Willis, you have the 202 staging area. So they have maintenance area for the 202. So it's kind of been taken over. You have the gray and trucks all on there as well. And so you can see looking east along Willis Road, and you can see the Loop 202 freeway, how close it is there. There is no fencing. You're just directly next to the 202, which is why this proximity is great because it's easy access to the freeway. So the development standards we're proposing are very, just to get in line, because currently actually some of the deviations we're requesting are because of the acquisition of Willis Road for Gilbert. And so the setbacks of the previous home that were there and existing, which they're going to utilize, no longer meet the standards because they acquired right away. So that's to accommodate that. And then we are going to be limiting the uses in C2 because obviously not all the uses in C2 would be appropriate here because it is still internal. It's not on a major road or collector road. So we have restricted the uses to those I was suggesting and showing you in the current zoning code for Gilbert. Here is the proposed site plan using the existing house you can see on the left-hand side, improving the access, dust proofing, providing solid fencing, maintaining, actually providing on-site retention that accommodates this whole area for this site, as well as you can see the shop, which is for their trucks and for people to come in and out. And just so you're aware, the office would be in operation Monday through Friday. The field workers would possibly arrive if they haven't taken their trucks home at 6 a.m. to pick up for the day what they're next going to be doing. And then deliveries are limited to between 9 and 3 p.m. And there's no public allowed. This is strictly employees only, so you're not going to get a lot of traffic coming down here. This is only for employees. And with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but I feel I think I've answered most of the questions.
I don't have any. I know that street well. So, but does any of the other commissioners have any questions?
I just have one. You have a residential property to the north, but you guys have not received any opposition from any of your neighbors?
No, when we
Gilbert.
did it, I've actually worked on this site previously for a different user when they were trying to purchase it, and as well as this one. And when we did our neighborhood outreach, they were just so happy to have the trash and the fencing put up and all that stuff cleared out because they were having issues with bugs and rodents and all kinds of stuff. So they were just extremely happy to have it fenced properly and cleared out, and they were really happy with the use.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do we have anybody wishing to speak on this case on webinar or here in person? I know of none.
And nobody I'm not seeing anybody online either.
Okay, thank you. We'll close public comment and open it up for discussion. It's my district, so I'll start. I know the property well. My brother called me. He was looking at buying it some time ago. Asked about this same similar use. I had zero concerns on it. The owner across the street, I took my cars to for, I don't know, 20 something years. So I've been up and down that street a lot. Know it well. The area is changing there. The neighbors and the businesses seem to work along great. That's my personal opinion, and it's my district. So any other thoughts? Okay.
Chairman Limblom?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of case Z240024.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Hernandez. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second by Commissioner Wallach. Got it, right? All right. Sometimes I'm a quick learn. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitney,
Yes.
Commissioner Ruck-Wallach,
Yes.
Chairman Lindblom.
Yes, I'll explain my vote a little bit too. I meant to in my comments. I'll add, I do see the opposition from the town of Gilbert. We don't take those lightly, and just the warehousing and the type of, it's just not intrusive. So I just didn't have issues on it, and they're not here to talk about it. So I can't question them on it, and I haven't. So I'm a yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. We will now move to case number SU 250019, if staff would like to present.
Chairman Limbaugh, members of the commission. This case is a request for a special use permit to allow a youth basketball training campus cottage industry within the rural 43 zoning district. Subject site is located about 650 feet north of Ray Road and 155th Street in the Gilbert area. Next slide. Total property is just over an acre, but the SUP area of the site is the 3,640 square foot gym that was constructed in 2019. It's our understanding the camps have been ongoing since around that time of the gym's construction. It has been the case since that the camps have expanded beyond what is permitted under the home occupation standards in rural zoning districts. The actual 2024 violation stems from complaints regarding traffic and dust along the private access roads caused by the business. Next slide. The applicant now seeks to legalize the cottage industry with the special use permit. Proposal includes continuing basketball training activities on the site with improvements for parking and dust control. These are the only improvements being requested, as the property, except for the required parking, is already fully developed. The homeowner will also be required to obtain a building permit for the gym itself to upgrade to a commercial occupancy if this item is approved. Next slide. Staff finds that while the camp generates more activity than a typical home occupation, the property is otherwise suitable for this use, provided that these conditions that are implemented as part of the staff report are imposed. This is basically permitting an existing operation rather than introducing more intense uses. Staff's recommended 10-year approval period for the special use permit to ensure the use remains compatible with surrounding residences and that ongoing compliance can be monitored. Based on these considerations, staff is recommending approval of this permit subject to conditions A through J as outlined in paragraph 15 of the staff report. This time I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff at this time? All right, hearing none, we'll hear from the applicant. If you'd like to come up, state your name, and glad to have you here.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Greg Davis with iPlan Consulting. Here represent Kenny and Marie Crandall, the owners of the property and operators of the basketball training facility. So even though this is kind of a technical request, I wanted to just give a quick brief background of Kenny, mostly to embarrass him because he was almost late for this meeting, but just to also give you guys an idea of why he's passionate about this business, why he started it, and what his intent is moving forward. So get this slide to work. There we go. All right, so a lot of words on there. It's pretty small to see, but the gist of it is Kenny, if you do not know him, he's a long-term East Valley resident, basketball star in high school at Mountain View, and went on to Arizona State University. So he's been coached and learned the value of coaching in a structured environment all during his youth and growing up, and that's really carried with him through the years. So that's what he decided he wanted to do for a living, is to be able to train kids and help them become better citizens, better athletes, et cetera, because he learned those values growing up as well. And so one of his first business ventures was having a commercial gymnasium in a commercial setting. But that unfortunately failed for a couple reasons. First, trying to find a facility that you can train kids in a commercial setting is very difficult. It's also very expensive. And because they were training youth, they had very limited times that they could actually train the kids. Kids have obligations, mostly at school. They also have religious obligations, family obligations, other sports, et cetera. So use like that just didn't work, wasn't viable in that commercial setting. So Kenny learned that lesson and then, decided to design a program that would be smaller scale, that would fit within an existing neighborhood, that would be able to be viable so that he could continue to do this effort without having the business costs associated with the commercial site. So they looked specifically at this property because it was surrounded by a community of 350,000, which is the town of Gilbert, and a lot of families in that area. So it's a very intense area. But secondly, because the county has a history of supporting entrepreneurs and supporting home-based businesses. And so that was important to them to find that use. Most municipalities don't support these type of uses there. HOAs do not support these type of uses. So it's really important to them that they are part of Maricopa County, and that's why they selected their site. So in 2019, they moved on the property and built their gymnasium on the site that they have today. And they started, KC Elite basketball training at that time. So this is the macro view of the site. You can see it located in the middle there. It's actually a very urban area, even though it's in the county, surrounded on all sides by Gilbert. It's less than a mile from the Santan Regional Mall, about a half a mile west of the Santan Freeway, and it's just north of Ray Road. And Ray Road carries over 23,000 cars a day. So even though this has a rural setting to it because it's county, it is a very urban and intense area. As we move into the county island itself, this county island has about 60 parcels, and there's kind of a mix of different uses in there, obviously mostly residential, but there are some equestrian uses. There's a lot of home-based businesses already in here. There's a lot of modern new homes being built, especially on the south side. So it is an area in transition, and there's actually a cluster development you can see just on the east side. So it is an area that is urban and has some intense uses, which supports that home-based business, not only of my client, but the other home-based businesses in this county island. So the site itself, as Joel mentioned, is limited to just the north portion of the site, surrounded by the yellow rectangle. And the reason that's important is because one of the concerns that we had heard from the neighborhood is, your use is fine now, but what happens 5 years from now? You're going to continue to grow this, or you're going to build another building, bring in more coaches, et cetera. And that's not the intent of what the Crandalls planned for. They have been operating this for 5 years, and they're happy with what they have. They're just trying to preserve what they have now. So by limiting the area of the SUP, it limits their ability to expand, which hopefully will give some reassurance to the neighbors. It's also important to know that this facility is 100% indoors. There is an outdoor basketball court that they use for family, games, et cetera, but it's not used for the training purposes of the site. So there isn't a noise issue. There isn't a light issue that could be allowed and frankly is allowed by right now. And, this started out as a use that was compliant in 2019, but it really grew in 2020 with COVID. That was the main instigator for the growth of the business because our kids didn't have a place to go be active and be social. Schools were shut down, structured events were shut down, et cetera. So this use became kind of a beacon for a lot of the families in the neighborhood could send their kids here, and so they could be physically active and socially active. And that grew, and it's maintained that, and it's evolved into what it is today, which is training kids after school, during breaks, and over the summer. And the operation works like this. All the sessions are about an hour in duration, and they include anywhere from 1 to 12 kids. The code, as you know, allows up to 5 kids. And so that's the request that we're making, is to be able to have more than 5 kids at one time. And the reason why 12 is the number is that you can only do so much skills training and shooting training, but it's really important that they have a game-like experience. And a game is basically 5 kids on each side of each team. And then because Kenny works them so hard, they have 1 extra kid for a substitution. So you have 12 total And that game experience is really important to their overall training. And it's a lot more fun for the kids rather than just doing dribbling drills and shooting drills, et cetera. So that's why 12 is selected. The kids arrive in various different formats. A lot of the kids are from the local area, so they either come after school on the school bus, they ride their bikes. E-bikes are becoming a bigger thing these days, but several of them are driven by their parents, and they do create some traffic. But it's important to remember that a lot of the kids that are being trained by Kenny are being trained with their siblings, with their friends, et cetera. So it's not 10 cars, 10 kids, et cetera. They're usually coming in groups together being carpooled. So you may have 10 kids at a training session, but you'll only have 4 or 5 cars associated with that. So the impact is minimized. The sessions right now are typically held, during the school year, Monday through Thursday in the afternoon and evenings. And during the summer and breaks, they're Monday through Friday with a more spread out time frame because of the other obligations that the kids have. And they rarely have events or practices on Saturdays. Sometimes if kids will miss a training during the week, they'll make it up. Or if Kenny has a one-on-one client, they'll meet on Saturdays. And there's no training on Sundays right now. As I mentioned, the training began in 2019 and kind of grew over COVID. And it's really kind of had that balance since then. So it's been in operation for 5 years. And there really hasn't been any issues. There's been no complaints up until last year where there was a traffic dust complaint made. And at that time, Kenny wasn't aware he was in violation. He's not familiar with the zoning code like we all are. But he's worked immediately to try to rectify that. He contacted me and I walked him through what the SUP process was. And so obviously we started that, but he's also been working with the county offices to bring the site into code compliance. It was built to code back in 2019, but codes have changed. So one element of this SUP is to bring the gymnasium up until current codes. And he's been working with the different departments to do that. And then also he has been working with the neighbors. Because there was a dust complaint, he worked with the neighbors to the south, which were already planning to pave a portion of the road. It was dirt at that time. So we worked with them to pave the road from Ray Road to his north boundary. So there is no longer a dust issue coming from this use. The pavement did create some other concerns such as speeding and careless driving, not by anyone in particular, by everyone, unfortunately. And so he's continued to work with the neighbors on that, posting signs saying drive cautiously, speed limits, et cetera, and making people aware of the situation that this is a neighborhood. Our neighborhood outreach efforts went beyond just talking with the neighbors. All the conversations that he had to date had been very positive in support. In fact, we submitted the petition of support, which had 15 signatures on it just yesterday, which I believe you've gotten this morning. But we went beyond that as well, and we had a neighborhood meeting, and we invited not only everyone within 300 feet, but we invited all 60 parcel owners in that area. And only 5 attended, of which 2 were in support and 3 were opposed to it. And the major concern that we had heard at that meeting was, outside traffic coming into the neighborhood. But we tried to point out that, that's not an issue for just this use. There's a lot of home-based businesses in this area that do bring traffic in on their own. This is not a gated community, so it's really open to the public. And so you have uses that bring in uses. You have neighbors that bring in uses such as services, guests, Uber drivers, et cetera. So we don't think that our use really contributes more to the problem. In fact, the county, we don't even generate enough traffic to require a traffic study for the site. So it's very little impact in the overall scheme of things in traffic. Even so, Kenny has worked with his parents to make sure that they understand that this is a neighborhood. They've created an acknowledgement that the parents sign when they sign their kids up for training, that they understand that they need to be cautious and respectful in the neighborhood. He's working with the neighbors to put additional signage that'll help all drivers recognize that this is a neighborhood to slow down, and additional speed bumps if needed. And the biggest thing is that we're volunteering to limit this SUP through a list of regulations and rules, which maybe you've had a chance to look at, but I'll summarize here on the next slide. And I apologize, there's a lot of information on this slide, but it's a complicated case because of the time of year. So basically the top table represents what the current code allows. So this is something that Kenny could do without the SUP. And basically it allows up to 5 kids a day. So that is the one thing we're asking to change to up to 12. But it's allowed during the, the operational hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. So by right, this use could continue and have 75 people being trained a day and over 500 over the course of the week. That obviously doesn't work for Kenny because of the things we talked about. And Kenny's not trying to maximize this business. So what we've proposed in the efforts to help the neighbors have some reliance on what we're doing as well as the county is some rules and regulations about the operation, which are the next two paragraphs below. And they're split up into two tables because we have two situations throughout the course of the year. During the school year, which is most of the year, 10 months between August and May, we would have limitations that the training can only occur in the afternoons and the evenings, only occur 4 days a week, other than a makeup session every once in a while on the Saturdays. And that would result in about 60 kids a day and 240 weeks. So significantly less than what the code currently allows him right now. And then for the summer months or the break months, which are the small portion of the year, we would basically have a wider range of hours to train the kids. So it'd be 7 to 4 p.m., 5 days a week. And that could result in a few more kids on a daily basis. But the thing is that these sessions aren't maximized. We're not getting 12 kids at every session, and there's not an expectation for that to happen. But we don't know when those sessions occur, which is why there is a request. So even under those conditions, we're still asking for less kids than we could under the current code over the course of the week. And then the last two bullet points I think are really important for the neighbors' assurances moving forward. And first is that we'll put in writing that there won't be any outdoor training. So there hasn't been to date, it hasn't been an issue, but we want to make sure the neighbors understand that's not going to become an issue by restricting no outdoor training. And the second one is that the use of that gym would be restricted to just this use. Kenny is approached all the time by other coaches that want to do other types of training, other personal events, and we just don't think that's appropriate. We think that would add a lot more traffic to the area, and that's allowed today. So by us taking that off the table, hopefully the neighbors feel that's a fair justification for this request. I'm coming to an end here, I promise. So I did want to quickly talk about the parking reduction, just because it is a request that we're making. Unfortunately, the zoning code doesn't differentiate between commercial and home-based businesses, and we have a large building on the site. So the current parking code would require 15 parking spaces, which obviously we don't need. The most cars Kenny's had there at any one time during training is 6 cars. Even so, we can have up to 10 cars along our north boundary, and that includes an ADA space. And the reason that we think this is important is we're trying to keep this looking residential. And if we have 15 spaces, that's a bigger parking area. It looks less residential, which we think is a detriment to not only us, but also the neighbors. So just in summary, we think this SUP really benefits everyone involved. First of all, the kids. It allows a better training experience for them, but it also improves the safety of the facility that they're being trained in by bringing it up to the current code. It also includes operational limits that the neighbors don't have today. So by having these in place, they have more reliance on what the rules are, and it'll ultimately be less kids than what's currently allowed by code. And then lastly, there's actually going to be codified rules in place so that if there is an issue, they have a mechanism to withdraw the SUP, which doesn't exist without obviously the SUP in place. So I know it's a lot of information. I appreciate your patience. Mr. Crandall is here to speak to any specific questions you may have, but otherwise I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions at this time? I'll hold mine until maybe after I hear from some of those that are opposed. Thanks.
You bet.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and hear from, is there anybody online that wishes to speak?
Nobody online.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and hear from, I have just 2 cards here. We'll hear first from Mr. Bill Vogelsang, and who wishes to speak. And then just come on up, state your name, give you 3-4 minutes to.
Yeah, my name is Bill Vogelsang.
Thank you.
And one of the neighbors. And basically, this is a high traffic business. And there are more than 6 cars per session there a lot of times. My main concern is just the hours of operation. It's a rural road, no sidewalks, no street lights. If they want to operate Daytime hours, 8 to 5 would be great. But evenings with the traffic and no lighting and kids on their bicycles and people enjoying the neighborhood, I kind of think that's probably pushing it a little too far. I personally don't have a problem if they operate it, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, but not in the evenings in a rural neighborhood. I think it's just a little excessive. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Do you hear them at night when they're?
I don't hear them, but the traffic when I come home after work, and
Okay.
there is a lot of traffic. And the problem is they're parking their cars in the backyard. Their customers, they come out, they don't stop. There's been several times I've almost got hit. My son's been walking the dogs in the evenings, almost got hit. So it's the after hours issues I have problems with. So
Any other questions for?
Mr. Chair, I just have one.
All right, go ahead.
Is your property north or south of
North of
the
theirs.
site? Okay,
yes,
thank you.
yes, thank you.
Mr. Bill, could you come back up? Vogelsang, if you're north of them, the traffic's not really impacting you to the level it is these two down here at the bottom south. But I get it. You don't like the traffic on the street.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the original issue was it was a dirt road originally, and it was high traffic, and the dust was incredible. And we spoke to him quite a bit about it and kind of ignored it. And then to the point where one of the neighbors actually turned them in for running the business. And then they paved the road up to their property line. But yeah, there is definitely a lot of traffic. So
Is this the street Kelly Denham lived on or used to live on? Do you know who he is?
no, I do not.
Next one over?
Yep.
All right. I'm just trying to get my bearings straight. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Just trying to get my bearings straight on which street it is. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Next will be Mr. John Long.
Hello, can you hear me okay? Okay. So I live in the neighborhood.
Hold on just a
Can you
second.
hear me
Did his
okay?
mic get turned off?
Can you hear me okay? Do I have to push something or?
Yeah, or maybe we'll raise it so you're not stooping down either.
Oh, okay, no problem. There we
Yeah,
go.
we just
That's
want
a
to
little
get
bit
it
better.
where,
Just have the mic off.
So I just want to say that I'm not opposed to the business. I'm friends with the Crandalls and oh, there we go. And I appreciate all the restrictions that have been put in place, and the consideration.
you can wait a minute and let her get that figured out.
No
Yeah,
problem.
there's no rush. We
No.
let you have your thoughts collected.
Yeah, no
and
worries.
This isn't fun anyway. It's neighbors with neighbors and we get it. So.
Initially, we were concerned about the traffic. We're still concerned about the traffic. When the road wasn't paved, there was a real issue with dust, but that's since been resolved. So, and reviewing the thought that's been put into the petition and stuff, limiting the class size is important. I was under the impression it was going to go to 15. It's 12. The number of classes, I don't know how many classes per day. I think it's like 8 or something like that. But I think the concern is could be between 200 and 300 cars a day coming up and down our road. And so that's probably the biggest concern that I have. I do live to the north, so I'm not highly impacted by the traffic. But, in defense of our neighborhood and trying to keep it a neighborhood, I think it's important to say something and, speak my concerns. Other than that, I think that if it's a single coach operation, and that's one of the restrictions, that's a good thing. Limiting the class sizes to 12. And then I don't know the number of classes, but ultimately we want to try and control the number of cars coming up and down the street. And that's important. And then the parking, there was a couple instances where there was parking on the street. We made mention of it in our neighborhood meeting and they said that they wouldn't allow that. So that's important. And if they have enough parking spots inside, I think what happens is the parents will bring the kids in and then they leave. Not all of them, but I think there's a fair number of parents that drop off and come back. So that's 4 trips down the road per student or, so it can add up is what the point is. But anyways, so that's basically what I have to say.
Thank
Do you have
you.
any questions for me?
Any questions for Mr. Long? Thank you.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Appreciate you participating as well. That is all I have as far as people wishing to speak. Would the applicant like to come back up? I do have one question.
Go right ahead.
Did we make a stipulation? I don't remember seeing it on no on-street parking. That stipulation in the, okay.
Chairman Limbaugh, no, there is no stipulation regarding off-street parking.
Is that an issue to add that stipulation?
Mr. Chairman, no, we'd be fine with that. And we're actually planning to put signs out there to make sure that people understand there's no parking allowed out there.
Any other questions for the applicant?
My only comment was, you guys did stipulate the time from 3:30 to 9:30 during the school year. I can sympathize with the other neighbors that 9:30 is a little late. Is there any opportunity for you guys to move it up to help accommodate the neighbors? Maybe 8:30?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Hernandez, so there'll be challenges that some of the kids can't come over until after school or after homework or after seminary, whatever it may be. And so the last training that they have is actually 8 o'clock, but it gets out at 9. And then if the kids linger, that's why we use the 9:30 time. So we'd have to move it up to 7, which would really hinder our ability to service that kid. So the intent is that at 9 o'clock, the kids are gone because of that 8 o'clock session. But I don't think we can move it up anymore without, risking, not being able to get all the kids in because of their other obligations.
Would, do you mind if I chime in on? Okay, would there be an issue with just stating in the stipulations that 9 o'clock would be the end time of the last class?
I don't.
Is that an issue?
Nope, not at all. We didn't want the neighbors to think that there would be nothing after 9 o'clock because people are obviously leaving.
Sure.
And the kids are chatting. That's why we use the 9:30. But to word it the way you have is totally fine with us. Yeah. But if we.
Yeah, like you're done with practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like my kids out that late either. I hate when coaches do that. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
So do you, right? I'm teasing, but half teasing. Let me.
Two and three.
Yeah, it would be around that where we're clarifying that, the last class, like the practice session ends at 9. The expectation is they're clearing out quickly.
Yeah, I think if we could just change the wording on 2 and 3 to say, class is over at 9 with all people vacating by 9:30.
Yeah,
that would be.
We're agreeable to that.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then another question I have is what efforts are you taking to work with the parents and students about the way they drive on the street? I don't get into a lot on stipulations on this, but I am curious what efforts are being done there.
Mr. Chairman, if it's all right, I'll invite Mr. Crandall to come up and speak to that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
On all of our flyers, we have a driving honor code thing that we have parents sign, but it's on all the flyers we put on. We do text them and let them know. Sometimes I will say I feel like we get blamed for everything. We have a lot of people on our road that speed past us, and I think sometimes we get blamed for that a lot. But I know my wife, if she sees somebody driving really fast, she'll run out there. I don't see them, but I know she'll run out there and go, "Hey, you can't drive like that." Yeah. One of my neighbors that are in support had a really good idea it's really just pulling out of our parking lot is to put a speed bump right there. I think sometimes they get in a hurry and I think a lot of people construe it as being rude. I don't think they're trying to be rude. I just think they're in a hurry and probably not paying attention. And so I think if we put a speed bump there and we planned on putting a sign across the street so they're staring at it to stop, look both ways and really pay attention, we hope to help eliminate some of that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I have an Airbnb in Wyoming. We get blamed for everything. I always have to pull out the cameras and show it's my neighbors next to me that I love, but their kids drive crazy. It's often not us. So I certainly understand that. Any other questions for the applicant at this time? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll close public comment and open up discussion for the commission.
Chairman Lindblom.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Yeah, I would just like to say, I think this is a great program they have with having 3 kids playing club basketball as well. I wish I had something like this in my part of town. I would like to commend the applicants for trying to be good stewards of the neighborhood by paving the street, adding speed bump signage, limiting the use. I think that just says a lot that you guys have gone a long way to try to make everybody happy. So I would be in support of this SUP.
Other comments?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner, and I'm gonna Rod. I'll get it. I'm gonna on the way home.
That's all right. No one from Safeway can get it either.
Go ahead.
I also want to commend the applicant on working with the community. It's very clear by the level of support around the applicant's property that they are good neighbors. I understand that you guys get blamed a lot maybe for the traffic or the speed, and yet all but 3 neighbors to your south have supported you. One of those neighbors to your south that is opposed to you owns an auto mechanic shop out of their house, and they enter off of 150, what is it, 4th? So the fact that you have put in constraints and have clear community support is a good sign, and certainly I'll be supportive as well.
Any other comments? All right, I'll make some. I grew up on Record Ray Road, so I know the area well, and now I live on Warner and Elliott or Higley. Sorry, so I'm not far away. I appreciate the neighbors being here today, and I understand the sensitivities of that, and I appreciate how you've worked through it so far. I'm supportive of the project for the benefit, the land use. We look at land uses. I'm a big property rights person, and so long as it's not infringing heavily on the neighbors, I tend to err on letting somebody do something with their property. And I certainly will open myself up to say if there are issues with traffic and things continuing, it's really easy to find me, and I'm happy to come meet with you and the Crandalls. But I'm supportive of it. I certainly understand the issues of having a home-based business, because I drop off lots of kids at different sports things myself, and so I certainly understand also the traffic concerns. So happy to help with those in the future if an issue continues to rise. I make myself available for that. It's also a 10-year period on the special use, and I think a lot of the issues have been resolved through stipulations that will make it where you can enjoy it more. So probably not the most ideal for you, but I'm supportive of it, and happy that we have good people in the community that like doing these kind of things and making our youth better. So any other comments?
Chairman Lindblom.
Hearing none. Yeah, Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of SU 250019 with revised stipulations F2 and F3 and additional stipulation G2.
And the G2 stipulation is on the no off street. Yeah. Okay. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Rockwallach, and I'm trying. We'll go into a roll call vote.
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitney,
Yes.
Commissioner Rockwallach,
Yes.
Chairman Limblom.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. And I will give you my card with my number if you need it in the future. So good luck, be a good neighbor, and go teach some kids how to play some basketball. I have to, any Mountain View Toro, I have to question a little bit about, their but that's okay.
He's a Sun Belt, so he makes it up.
Is that how that works? All the Toros moved out to Gilbert, and I married one, so it's a problem. But any other regular agenda items or any other business items? Sorry,
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, you may be aware there's been a problem with artificial intelligence and bots committing fraud on our customers, sending emails directly to people that are applicants in our system. And so for the record, we want just to state that payment for planning applications will only be accepted via Permit Center within the online portal. Maricopa County does not accept wire transfers for payment, will never contact you seeking a wire transfer for payment. And
thank you. We don't want people sending money to the wrong places.
And we're putting these notes on our website, in our application packets, and sending out customized emails to our recent applicants. But we just wanted to go on record at the hearing that is the case.
No wires. Yeah. Don't send a wire to planning. It's not going to get to us. It's going to go somewhere else. All right. Thank you. We'll go ahead and adjourn. This meeting's adjourned.